Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Melt Show. I'm your host, Max, and tonight, in this very special episode, we're going to put on some parts back onto the motorcycle frame. You see, I took apart Project Tokyo Throwback all the way down just to the frame and cleaned it, painted it, etc. But tonight, I want to put the swing arm back on and the center stand, and we'll do it all in one video. I think it'll be nice. So it's not like a terribly difficult process. Well, at least I hope it's not. It was pretty easy taking it off. Putting it back on will be a little bit harder. All right, let's get this show on the road, shall we? All right. I want to install the swing arm in right here, but the first thing you have to do is install the little arm for the rear brake. So, and that goes with the hook down and the angle facing forward. So swing arm comes in. I've greased the bushings, the sleeve inside, given it a coat of paint, and you kind of just get it in here awkwardly. And this is where I do it wrong or something. But I'll feed the bolt in from the left-hand side and let that kind of be my guide. Totally nailing this so far. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be a tight fit, right? Yeah, there we go. See? Totally close. Now watch me do this, but then I take the whole frame off of the Apple box I have it on. Ew, look at that. Nice greasy sludge here on the edge. Before I screw that in, we'll kind of just give it the old feelsies. Yeah, okay, cool. And then washer and the net. I'm not gonna like torque this crazy right now because I probably did something wrong. And that's okay. Learning, you know? Okay. Yeah, but hey, swing arm's back on. That's neat. The next logical thing would be to do the rear shocks, which is nice because I've got new bushings in here and got my new shocks. It's not going to be perfect because I know for sure that my upper shock, like the bushing and stuff up here, is bigger, or sorry, smaller than the originals. So we're just gonna play it by ear. I'll need to get some spacers, I guess is what I was trying to say for here. So installing shocks, right? And then I've got a handful of washers and the screws for the bottom. So the top isn't going to want to go on that easily, especially not in my case because I just painted this, and the rubber bushing on top is always kind of just a little tight. So I'm going to try spraying some glass cleaner because you never know, maybe it'll be like a really good idea. Just want to lubricate it for now, and then it'll evaporate, yeah? I'm just making it up as I go, just figuring it out. We're just gonna try a little bit of dish soap. When in doubt, Dawn. Oh yeah, okay. Well, geez, that's more like it. So for now, I'm just gonna pretend it's totally fine. And I'll just throw some washers on there for now. This is temporary. So I'll need to turn this around and line these up. That probably needs washers too, because down here you don't want any of this movement. So I'll have to get some 10mm, I think, washers for there to act as spacers just on the inside. Wait a second. Secret genius or fool? Probably the latter. Or not. Oh, yeah. I'm probably gonna regret it later, but it worked. Okay, and our bolt down here for alignment purposes. And again, I'll need to put some washers in here so I don't die later. At least I won't die that way. These are not even the right size washers. Pretty easy to actually, this is pretty easy to do. So what I want to do here is install the center stand. Seems like a good time before the reveal build goes on. Okay, I found some of the parts. The crescent moon thing, the spring. There's a little bracket that attaches to the end of one of the bolts that is for, I think, like the battery drain tube. So this is the tube that goes through the middle, and I need to grab a cotter pin. I've got my little baggie of cotter pins. I'll find the right one when I need to. So we fit, center stands roughly there. The center pin only goes through one way from the right-hand side. Okay, it's through that way. The crescent has just a couple ways it can fit on. There's a big hole. That's pretty much. Whoa. So if only I had another apple box. We are probably gonna take it from this side because it doesn't really have to go that far. Okay. Oh, this is a tight spring. Ow, that swing arm's digging into my arm, into my knee. And then this is when my microphone died. But as you see, I got the spring on. It was kind of a challenge because the frame kept moving. Then it's time for the cotter pin. Nothing fancy, push it through the end, twist the ends to the sides, and you're good. Then the two 40mm long bolts and nuts. Those were a little hard to get in because the two clamps were kind of far apart, so it wasn't perfectly linear. Then on the bottom of this bolt, there's a little tab, a little bracket that has a hole coming off of it for the battery drain. Okay, now I'm going to attach the center stand stopper. It's also the bracket for the exhaust to hang off of. So we'll use this for now. If I swap the exhaust, I might not be using the same brackets, but it's all good. With this on, at least, when I go to, you know, once I have the wheels on and I set the bike on the center stand, at least it won't be hitting against the swing arm super hard. It's always important to make sure your arm gets in the way of the camera. All right, I don't have to go crazy. That'll do it. That's nice.